This is the Style Index by the Design Muse. Reimagined Sportswear shapes Spring-Summer 2026. Where prep becomes art, stripes become structure, funnel necks become architecture, layers become systems, and color becomes attitude. Prep art is where reimagined sportswear gets clever, where the clean, classic language of prep collides with the curiosity and experimentation of the art studio. Spring-Summer 26 takes the familiar codes of preppy dressing and pushes them into new territory, turning uniforms into expressions and tradition into play. We still see the staples: polos, pleats, crisp shirting, collegiate stripes, tailored blazers. But nothing is worn the way it's supposed to be. Everything is reworked, recut, recolored, or recontextualized. Shirting becomes sculptural, collars exaggerated, plackets shifted, proportions stretched or shrunken until they feel more like design statements than dress codes. Knitwear is deconstructed, unraveled, or layered in unexpected ways, giving that classic prep softness a new kind of edge. Tailoring loosens or sharpens with intention, sometimes oversized and slouchy, sometimes cropped and compact, always with a sense of intellectual mischief. This is prep seen through the eyes of someone who knows the rules well enough to break them beautifully. Color plays a role too, not loud but strategic. A pop of collegiate red. A washed-out pastel that feels sun-bleached. A stripe that suddenly shifts direction. These small disruptions give the looks a sense of movement, a sense of personality. And the sportswear influence is everywhere. Track-inspired waistbands on tailored skirts. Polo shirts cut like minimalist tops. Pleated minis styled with athletic ease. It's the merging of two worlds, the discipline of prep and the freedom of sport. What makes prep art so compelling this season is the tension it holds: polished but playful, structured but expressive, familiar but reimagined. It's preppy dressing that's been loosened up, messed with, and made modern. A little academic, a little rebellious, and completely alive. Prep art is reimagined sportswear at its most intellectual. A study in how tradition can be twisted, how uniforms can become personal, and how the cleanest lines can still carry the most attitude. Stripes run through Spring-Summer 26 like a visual heartbeat, clean, graphic, and endlessly reinterpreted. Within reimagined sportswear, stripes become more than a pattern. They become a design tool, a way to sculpt the body, direct the eye, and inject clarity into the silhouette. We see the classic tailored stripe, crisp, uniform, almost architectural. It sharpens shirting, elongates trousers, and gives blazers that disciplined, collegiate edge. But this season, even the cleanest stripe gets a twist. Shifted placements, unexpected scales, mismatched directions that create a sense of movement and modernity. Then there's the distorted stripe, stretched, warped, or curved around the body like an optical illusion. These stripes feel experimental, almost digital, bending the rules of symmetry and turning simple garments into kinetic compositions. They bring a sense of play to the season, a reminder that sportswear can be clever without losing its ease. What ties all these variations together is the precision. Stripes give Spring-Summer 26 its structure. They create rhythms. They create contrast. They create identity. In reimagined sportswear, stripes become the cleanest, most confident line. A motif that can be strict or surreal, nostalgic or futuristic, but always intentional. Funnel necks rise throughout Spring-Summer 26 as one of the most defining shapes in reimagined sportswear. A silhouette that's equal parts functional, futuristic, and quietly dramatic. That high, structured collar frames the face, sharpens the neckline, and instantly transforms even the simplest outfit into something architectural. In the context of reimagined sportswear, the funnel neck becomes a natural evolution of athletic outerwear. It takes the idea of a track jacket or windbreaker collar and elevates it into something sculptural, sleek, and undeniably modern. It's sportswear but sharpened, sportswear but stylized, sportswear but with a point of view. There's a quiet power in it, a sense of mystery, a sense of intention. Funnelnecks are the Spring-Summer 26 reminder that sometimes the most impactful detail isn't loud or flashy, it's structural, it's architectural. It's the neckline that doesn't just finish the outfit, it defines it. Primary play is the moment in Spring-Summer 26 where color stops behaving and starts performing. Within the world of reimagined sportswear, this is where color becomes the unexpected twist, the element that shifts a look from athletic or uniform, coded into something expressive, emotional, and alive. This season treats color like a living force, sometimes bold, sometimes soft, sometimes strange, but always intentional. It's not about sticking to primaries, it's about the clarity and confidence behind every hue. We see pure, saturated reds, blues and yellows, yes, but also acid greens, citrus oranges, ultraviolet purples, sun-washed pastels, metallic flashes and tonal blends that feel almost hand-painted. Color shows up as a single decisive pop or as a full-look immersion. It can be a shock, a whisper, a glow, or a jolt. What makes Spring-Summer 26 feel so fresh is the way color is used as architecture. A bright sleeve becomes a line. A saturated skirt becomes a shape. A single pop at the neckline becomes the entire focal point. Color directs the eye before the silhouette even has a chance. And within reimagined sportswear, these pops of color become the attitude shift, the detail that transforms something classic, collegiate, or athletic into something modern and artful. Color becomes the disruption, the elevation, the spark. There's playfulness here, but also precision. Designers use color to shift proportions, exaggerate movement, create contrast, and inject emotion. A simple outfit becomes graphic with one strategic stripe of red. A minimal dress becomes atmospheric in a soft, diffused blue. A neutral look becomes electric with a single flash of yellow at the waist or wrist. Spring-Summer 26 also loves contrast, not just in hue but in texture. Glossy primaries against matte fabrics. Soft pastels against sharp tailoring. Metallics catching the light against airy, weightless silhouettes. Color becomes a sensory experience, not just a visual one. There's a sense of artistic spontaneity running through the season. Color blocking that feels like brushstrokes. Unexpected pairings that shouldn't work but absolutely do. Looks that feel composed rather than styled, as if the body is moving through a painting. Primary play is about the power of a pop, whether that pop is pure, neon, pastel, metallic, or completely unexpected. It's color as energy, color as punctuation, color as the spark that brings reimagined sportswear and Spring-Summer 26 fully to life. Layers become one of the most expressive tools in reimagined sportswear this Spring-Summer 26, and this time, they carry a distinctly youthful, hipster edge. These aren't heavy autumn layers or polished, traditional ones. They're the kind of layers that feel like they belong to the art school kid, the downtown creative, the fashion literate youth who mixes pieces with instinct rather than rules. Spring-Summer 26 treats layering as a form of architecture, but an architecture that's lived in, experimental and slightly off-kilter. Light, airy constructions that build shape and movement without ever feeling overworked. Layers that breathe, layers that shift, layers that feel like they were thrown on in a moment of inspiration, but land with perfect intention. We see sheer layers that create transparency and tension, a soft veil over something structured, a whisper of fabric that changes the silhouette with every step. We see sculptural layers that arc, fold, or flare away from the body, turning simple garments into three-dimensional forms. And we see sporty layers, mesh, nylon, ribbed knits, windbreaker panels, reimagined with a kind of street-smart sophistication. There's a youthful irreverence to it all. A shirt half tucked under a jacket, a skirt layered over shorts, a windbreaker thrown over something unexpectedly delicate. It's the kind of styling that feels spontaneous, but only works because the construction is so precise. Spring-summer 26 loves contrast. Matte against gloss, rigid against fluid, tailored against weightless. Each layer adds a new rhythm, a new line, a new way of seeing the body in motion. Some look stack layers vertically, creating long, uninterrupted lines that elongate the frame. Others build outward, exaggerating shoulders, hips, or hems with sculptural confidence. And some use layers almost like editing tools, cropping, slicing, revealing, or obscuring just enough to shift the mood. What makes layering so compelling within Reimagined Sportswear is the intention behind it. Nothing feels random. Nothing feels excessive. Every layer has a purpose, to add movement, to add shape, to add attitude. And the youth influence is unmistakable. There's a sense of experimentation, of play, of not taking the rules too seriously. A mesh underlayer becomes a graphic moment. A crisp shirt peeking out becomes a deliberate line of contrast. A sporty jacket thrown over a sculptural base becomes the whole point. This is sportswear thinking, modular, functional, adaptable, but filtered through the lens of the fashion kid, the creative, the cool girl, the downtown boy. Layers become a way to build a look, to sculpt a silhouette, to create a sense of motion and depth that feels distinctly spring-summer 26. Reimagined sportswear at its most youthful, most dimensional, and most alive. In spring-summer 2026, sportswear reimagined becomes a new kind of lifestyle, playful, smarter, and artfully reimagined for now. The Style Index, fashion's sharpest files for fashion's chicest souls.